Okay, in the next assignment, we need to solve the equation, okay? Remember, so solve the equation means I got to find out what the letter in the equation equals. Now we have 16x to the second power plus 18x plus 5 equals 0, okay? So x has two answers. We have x to the second along with x to the first. So again, we can't use the linear properties where we get the x by itself. We have to use the factoring properties. Okay, so what I do first before I apply factoring properties, you got to make sure your set, the equation's set equal to 0. Okay, now you are set. Now we have three terms on the other side. So we go GCF. You can kick the 0 out, and then your t-table. So I'm looking for an x in that expression, not there at the end. There's no negative in the front. 16, 18, and 5. So I look at 5. I don't see 16 and 18. And then no, 5, so it's 1. Okay, so that means don't do it. A, B, C. So I multiply 16 times 5. That's positive 80. So again, that's a match. So if it's a match, we write match, and it's add equals positive 18. So the match has to be positive, positive. So now start dividing. 80 by 1, 1 and 80, that's 81. 80 divided by 2 is 40. Three's a decimal, skip it. 4 and 20. That's 24. 80 divided by 5 is 16. That's 21 when you add. Remember, be patient. This first one's kind of crappy because you have to go decimal, decimal. How about 8 and 10? That's it, okay? All right, now. So we're going to put plus 8 and plus 10. So A equals 16x to the second. So again, x to the second, I know x, but I'm not sure about the 16. So I place a 16 in front of each one. But then that's not the right factoring because 16 times 16 is not 16. 8 times 10 is not 5. But it will be if you follow the game plan. So look up 16 and 8. Look at 8's row. There's a 16, so we're going to divide by 8 here. And that is 2x plus 1. Okay, how about 16 and 10? So 10, it wouldn't be 10 because there's no 16. Here's 10 again, no 16. Here's 10, 16, so it's 2. So it's going to be 8x plus 5. Okay, now set those parentheses there. But only this time, unlike the last one, you're going to put equals 0 there. And that's right, because that'd be 2x times 8x is 16x to the second. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, so F1, F2. You set the inside of each one equal to 0. So 2x plus 1 equals 0. 8x plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so we got times 2 and plus 1. So minus 1, minus 1. It's negative 1, and then divide by 2. Negative 1 divided by 2 is a decimal. You can write that, or you can go second PRB equals. It would just be negative 1/2 if you did that. I'm fine with negative 0.5. That's fine. Okay. And over here, you got times 8 plus 5. So I'm minus 5. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So then I'm going to divide each side by 8. Decimal, you can also go second PRB, negative 5/8. Okay. Those are your two answers. Okay. Next one, 12x to the second power minus 11x plus 2 equals 0. So again, there are two answers. We have x to the second, and we have x to the first right there. So again, those can't be combined, so I have to use factoring properties. So the 0 is there, so you're set. And on the other side then, you have 3 terms. So GCF and the table. Okay, no x, no negative, 12, 11, and 2. Okay, so here's 2, here's 12, there's no 11 though, so it's just up in the 1. A, B, C. 12 times 2 is 24. Again, we have a positive, okay, so that's going to be a match. We have to add to negative 11, okay. So match on a negative adding would be negative, negative, because they will multiply to positive 24, but they need to add to negative 11. 124, nope. 2 and 12, nope. 3 and 8, cha-ching, okay. Now, A is 12x to the second. Let me get my parentheses orchestrated first. So I know I'm going to have a minus 3, minus 8, and then we're going to put xx, and then the 12 would be 12 and 12, but the 12 is not going to stay 12 and 12. So 12 and 3, so here's 3, there's 12, so it'd be 3. So it'd be 4x minus 1. 12 and 8, so here's 8, no 12. Here's 8 and 12, so that would be 4. It's going to be 3x minus 2. Okay. So now we got our f.
Eddie Guerrero was like.
So 4x minus 1 times 3x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, f1, f2. So 4x minus 1 equals 0, or 3x minus 2 equals 0. So times 4 minus 1, so we plus 1 plus 1. So 4 times x equals 1. And I go divide by 4. Okay, you can write that, or you can write 1, or you can go 1/4. Okay. So it's 1/4. Then over here, plus 2, that's 2. Divided by 3, I don't want that, 2/3. Okay. So 1/4 and 2/3. Okay. I'm going to cross this one out, okay? Do this one. 8x to the second power minus 6x minus 5 equals 0. So we have 2 solutions, okay? Because of the x to the second, but we also have an x in there too. Those can't be combined, so we have to factor. Factoring properties. So we're set at 0, okay? GCF and my table. No x, no negative, okay? 8, 6, and 5 is 1, because you end up in 5 row, they're not all going to be in 5's rows, so just be 1 again. So A, B, C, 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. So now it's a mismatch. It has to add to negative 6, so the negative's got to be on the dominant side, and the positive's got to be on the other side. So start dividing 1 and 40. Definitely not that. 40 divided by 2 is 20. Since 40 divided by 3 is a decimal, I'm going to skip the 3. Now try the 4. 4 and 10. Add a positive 4 to a negative 10, and you get negative 6. Okay, so A equals 8x to the second. Okay, so I'm going to go XX, I'm just going to put 8, 8, because I have no idea what the 8 lines up as. I mean, if it's just a 1, you know it's 1, 1, but an 8 could be a variety of things. So 8 and 4, there's 8, here's 4, here's 8, so I'm going to divide by 4. That's 2x plus 1. So that's going to be our first factor. Okay, 8 and 10. So, no. There's 8, there's 10, so it's 2. Okay, so it's 4x minus 5 equals 0. Okay, so 2x plus 1 equals 0, 4x minus 5 equals 0. So we minus 1, that's going to be negative 1. Negative 1 divided by 2, you can put negative 0.5, or second PRB equals would be negative 1/2. We add 5. Divide by 4. 5 divided by 4 is a decimal. Okay. You can put 1.25, or second PRB equals will give me 1 1/4. I would also be fine if you just put 5 1/4. Or 5 over 4, excuse me. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more. 2x to the second plus x minus 10 equals 0. Okay. So we have x to the second, we have x, okay. So this is factor, as they all are, and you're set. Now over here you got 2x second, you got a 1x and a minus 10. Okay, it's important to have that 1 there, because I'm not going to know what I'm adding to unless I place the 1 there. So GCF. Again, what's the rule? When 1's the smallest number, it's always going to be 1. There's no x, there's no negatives, so 1. So ABC. So 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. So negative, okay? That's a mismatch again. So since we have to add the positive 1, the mismatch has got to be a positive on the dominant side and a negative on the other side. Unlike the last problem where it was a negative, okay? So I start dividing. 20 by 1 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Nope. 20 divided by 3 is a decimal, so nope, skip it. 4 and 5. Pretty sure negative 4 plus 5 is positive 1. Okay. So minus 4 plus 5. Okay. So A equals 2x to the second. Okay, so I'm going to have xx, and then the 2 is applied in front. Again, 2 we know is going to end up being 1 times 2, but it could also be the 2 first, the 1 second. You got to know where they're slotted. Okay. So 2 and 4, so there's 2, here's 4, so we're going to divide by 2. So this can be 1x minus 2. 2 and 5, those are only in row 1, so that'll just remain at 2x plus 5. So I'm going to take the 1 away, the 2 has to stay, so it's x minus 2 times 2x plus 5. F1, F2, okay, x minus 2 equals 0, 2x plus 5 equals 0. So minus 2, we plus 2, that's 2. You don't have to divide on this one because we don't have we took out the multiplication operation because it was just by a 1. Then minus 5, it's negative 5. Okay, so negative 5 divided by 2, you can put that, or second PRB it, and that's negative 2.5. Okay, I'm going to take this one out. Now I got an interesting one in the back, okay. Yeah, sorry about this. Now you don't know how many answers there are until the parentheses goes away, okay. So you're going to put a 1 there, and you're going to distribute the 1 to the parentheses. So 1x to 20x and 1x to negative 3. So I'm going to do some work here. So times 20x times negative 3. Okay. So 1 times 20 is 20. Okay. And then x times x is x to the, here, I'll write it over here. So it's 20x to the second and then negative 3x. Then I'm going to switch that 3 to a 2. Just trust me on this, okay, because I have the wrong number. It's 2, not 3. Okay, so it's going to be 20x to the second minus 3x equals 2. Now that the parentheses are gone, we can go into our solving. So there's 2 answers. Okay. We have x to the second, and we ended up with an x, so we have to use factoring properties. But I'm not equal to 0. Okay, so I put a 0 and I'm minus 2. Now 2 is a constant, means it's not multiplied by any letters. So it can't go with this, it can't go with this, so then I'm minus 2. Now you should be making your slots. We have x squared, x, and a constant. Now we put 0. So x squared, you got 20. X, you have a negative 3. Constant, you have a negative 2. Now that you're set, you do exactly what we're doing before. GCF and table. Okay. Okay. No x, no negative. 23 and 2. 23 and 2. So there's 2 and 20's there, but 3's not. Okay. So it's just 1. Don't do it. A, B, C. 20 times negative 2 is negative 40. So it's got to be a mismatch of the signs, and it's got to add to negative 3. Okay? So negative is dominant, positive is the least dominant. So 1 and 40, that's going to add to negative 39. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So 2 plus negative 20 is negative 18. 40 divided by 3 decimal. Whoops. So 4 and 10. That's negative 6. You can feel yourself getting closer to it. 5 and 8. There it is, negative 3. So I put the plus 5 minus 8, okay, and then 20, and then x and x. The 20 will break itself down using this method. So 20 and 5, here's 20, so we divide this quantity by 5. So it's 4x plus 1. Then 20 and 8, so there's an 8, no 20. 8, no. 8, 20, yep, 4. It's going to be 5x minus 2. Okay. Alright, so you slot them. 4x plus 1 times 5x minus 2. F1, F2. So 4x plus 1 could equal 0. 5x minus 2 could equal 0. So get rid of plus 1 with a minus 1. That's going to be negative 1. Divide by 4. Negative 1 divided by 4 is negative 0.25. Or you can go second PRB and negative 1/4. It would stay. Then plus 2, that's going to be 2. 2 divided by 5 is a decimal. Second PRB would be 2/5. Okay, we're going to cut this bad boy's assignment down. Okay, I want you to do 1 and 2. I want you to cross out 3. You can do 4. 5, cross out 6. So it puts us at 4 problems. Then I'm going to be nice and cross this out, but this one, you're ready to go. You're not set though, you have to move that 5 out of there, okay?